What's up, investment family? My name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. I'm sitting here in my new apartment down in Florida, moved down to Miami. YouTube channel has been kind of quiet for the past, I don't know, a few weeks, just because I've been super busy with the day job. I'm in corporate sales. My job is very important to me, so as much as I would love to just like carve out 4 hours every day to do YouTube, I just can't. I have the privilege of being part of a startup that I actually believe in. We're creating some super cool technology. So sorry about that if you're looking for new videos from me. I still am actively investing though. I just don't have time to actually record my thought process and put all of that out there. So I thought I'd do a quick little recap in this video, kind of a tour of my apartment. It's super empty and messy right now. Talk about what I'm doing this week. I've accumulated up to 1,100 shares of GameStop now. Right around almost 1,200 shares of GameStop. I think that that's going to explode. We'll talk about that. And then really some of the other things that I think you should be looking into, you know, that we're, you know, about a quarter into 2021. But first, let's just take a look around this apartment here really quick. So coming over here, you can see I've got this dope kitchen. Absolutely love this kitchen. Black cabinets. This island is massive. So coming from New York, we had like no cooking space. Absolutely drove me nuts. We have a plethora of cooking space now. You can see that this is full of shit because there's no furniture in here. Like if you look around, no furniture. It's just empty. The movers are bringing our stuff on sometime this week. So spent like $3 grand already in the past few days though, buying like a couch. A TV will be here in a second. That'll be super dope. But we got this kitchen. I'm actually just gonna go behind the camera. Got all this kitchen. Island. This is where my desk and office is gonna be, right? So I'm gonna do my desk over here in this corner. Then I'm gonna set up a studio for YouTube over there. So do some cool stuff with some plants for my videos. Looking back this way, this is the living room, right, that I'm in with the light coming in now, so it doesn't look so good in this direction, but got this super dope, well, not really a good view, but coming out here. So out here on the patio, not the craziest view, but it's chill. It's chilling. Patio is massive. That goes right over into the master bedroom over there. Let's go take a look. Got a mattress on the floor right now. Bed and stuff is coming. Got some dope mirrors that we're gonna hang up. What's up? So these mirrors, we actually got 3 of these. We're going to do like a small one, these 2 small ones here. And then a big one in the middle, and that's gonna open up kind of the room a bit. It'll look super dope. This is the master bedroom. My favorite part of this apartment by far, and you're gonna love this, is the bathroom. I hope this shows up well on camera, but we're gonna take a look. So this is the master bathroom. Both bathrooms are actually the same. Got this 2 sinks, dope marble on the wall. Absolutely love the marble. Dual mirrors, love it. The shower, as you can see, is super dope. But this is actually the smaller of the 2 bathrooms. So the guest bathroom is actually much bigger. It has a shower and a bath kind of in the same thing. Super dope. Got this toilet, square toilet. So that's square. So let's walk on over to the guest bathroom and the rest of the apartment. So let's take a seat actually and talk about GameStop really quickly. I'm gonna sit on my island. Expensive ass island. Talk about this. So why did I buy 1,100 shares of GameStop? 2 things. One, I had some extra cash, but the squeeze, so I've been constantly kind of evaluating the situation over the last few months. If you are not in GameStop, you know, totally cool to be your prerogative. I used to share my account, all my holdings, not doing that anymore, but I will still talk about the things that I'm investing in. I'm just not gonna share my actual holdings and my accounts for security purposes. I'm on the fence about this. I might change my mind going forward or put it all in an Excel spreadsheet, but I'm just not doing it right now. But believe me when I say I have 1,100 shares of GameStop. I believe the squeeze is still gonna happen. My personal goals, again, as an investor, at least this year, is to make a couple $1 million. So GameStop is one of my big bets. If you would have watched my video on check cap, you know, we had 30,000 shares of check cap that I got at $1.50. That recently went up to $4. I exited that position. Now fully at this point, So I originally took out my initial capital. I went from like $30,000 up to 100 grand. That was a 6-figure trade. That video actually didn't get that many views, which is funny because a bunch of people were hitting me up after like, Forrest, did you see check cap? I'm like, I told a bunch of people, I was like, yeah, you should be in, you should be in, you should be in. And I made 100 grand on it, but you know, that's the way that life works. And really, honestly, the story there is if you want to make a lot of money, guys, in the market, you gotta be your own thinker. Like, you've got to do independent research. You've got to learn to hold. You've got to trust yourself. If the last few years haven't taught you anything about what most people do and how the media works and all of that, is that you really, really can get so much further in life and make tangible cash if you just think for yourself. Now, you've got to be smart, right? So this isn't just about being a contrarian, right? Because if you're just a contrarian to be a contrarian, well, you might just be dumb, right? You know, gravity's real, the earth is round, and if you just say contrary stuff like the earth is flat and gravity doesn't exist, well, then you're just wrong. So I'm talking about independent thinking, not just being a contrarian, because I know there are a lot of contrarians out there. But do your own research. Think for yourself, learn, right? So actually have a fundamental set of knowledge that you're building your analysis on top of, so that when things like GameStop happen and we're looking at all of this media coverage basically saying, you know, these retail traders don't know what they're doing, or the price isn't connected to any fundamental value, you can ignore all of that FUD and make some decisions that could set you up for your financial future. So I've already made a couple $100 grand on GameStop. I kind of let that settle, took that cash, put it into a few other investments, big bets, which have paid off. But my goal really this year is to make a couple $1 million from a few different sources, and then take and dump all of that into real estate. And that all goes into my one thing, which is to buy a ton of real estate. Ultimately, that is my long-term goal. I love trading, I'll always trade, but I'm always gonna take all of my profits and reinvest those into real estate, because I believe that is the best source of passive income with appreciation as well. So that's what I'm doing with GameStop. The squeeze has not happened yet. Still waiting for the squeeze. I have a price target of around $1,000. It might go above that, but at 1,100 shares, it'd be really, really easy for me to know or really see that $1 million threshold in my account, or that account that is holding those shares right now. Right now, I actually have 4 different brokerage accounts that I'm trading with different things. I have a Thinkorswim account. I have a Fidelity account. I still actually have Robinhood. I know all the stuff that happened, but I actually still do have Robinhood, and I have right around 100 grand in Robinhood. And I have an Interactive Brokers account. Well, I guess I have 5, because I also have Webull. I have like 30 grand in Webull. So I've got money all over the place. Do whatever you want. I don't really have an opinion on this. There's honestly, the reason I haven't consolidated, I probably will consolidate, is it takes time and I'll lose money on the days where it's in transfer. You can't trade while you're transferring funds, and I actively trade too much right now, which is probably a bad idea, but I wanted to test all these things out and kind of just ended up in this situation. But it's not really, I'm not too worried about it. But in any case, that is GameStop. Let's move on to the rest of the tour and talk about how you should be looking for new investments, right? So we're moving down. This is the end of the kitchen. This is that office again. This is, what is this? Hold up. This is the laundry room. Wait, I can't even see. Yeah, so we got a washer and dryer. That's cool. Comes in here. Here's the other bathroom I was talking about. Super dope. Super dope. Oh. The Grubhub orders here. Ordered some food. Alright, so we're back from that phone call. Here's that other bathroom I was talking about. Hold up. So when you come in here, right? Open this up. You got the shower and a tub all together. It's super dope. It's super dope. Can we sit in here? Can we shoot a video in here? Let's see what we got. Oh, god damn. Okay, so how do you actually find good investments, right? How do you find things like GameStop? How do you find things like CheckCap? How do you find things like ASTI, which I'm invested in and I highly recommend you invest in? How do you find these companies that could give you outsized returns? So one, you need to have a long view, right? So unless you are swing trading or doing options on like near-term news events, which is very, very, very risky, right? And it's a great way to run out of capital very fast. And one of the things you don't want to do, right, is run out of capital before your investments pay off. So timing is everything. There are plenty of people, GameStop for example, who are possibly right about their thesis in GameStop, but they're buying options, weeklies, and things like that, and they're running out of cash. So don't run out of cash, don't burn your capital playing options over aggressively. Do things that are mid to long term. That's how I like to trade, at least. Again, this is not financial advice, but when it comes to looking at companies' investments, CheckCap, for example, CheckCap is one of those companies that is doing something new in a space that there is a proven, or there is a set number of customers, right? We know how many people develop these new types of cancers every year. We know how many tests are administered. We know that there is a market for an easier way to diagnose this type of cancer. And so CheckCap, while it was a bet at the time, it certainly was a bet, getting in on something that was, I knew they were going for FDA approval in Q1. They were FDA approved, and so I know that any biogenomic or any bio stock when they get FDA approval is gonna pop. It just is. And so really, I was looking for something that was going to seek FDA approval soon, CheckCap. Then I look at the fundamentals and say, okay, is this something that people actually want? Or this is more like qualitative analysis, not necessarily fundamentals, but assuming that they get FDA approval, is this something that people would actually be excited about? If I went and spoke to somebody and they don't know anything about CheckCap and said, hey, here's a way that you can actually get colon cancer screening without having to do the standard invasive appointment that you would do, you just swallow a pill. Most people, without even caring about CheckCap or how it works, like that idea. I don't have to explain the way that it works. It's just like, oh, that's a novel idea. I want to invest in that. So that's a very pragmatic, simple way to think about investing in things that can have this explosive upside, but that are still novel. They're still nascent. They don't have tons of cash flow. They don't have a huge roadmap ahead of them. When you're looking for these companies, you need to have this long-term vision though. If you only invest in things like the Teslas, if you only invest in Microsoft, if you only invest in Amazon and these companies, you're going to get the expected returns. Now they're going to have their explosive years. Microsoft is always creating new projects. They're always going out and acquiring new companies, but for the most part, you're going to get that standard return. These are established businesses. As I get up, and they have established returns. So if you want to do what I'm doing, and my goal is to, buy a mansion here in a few years, then you're gonna have to do what other people don't do. If you do what other people do, you're gonna get what other people get. It really is that simple, guys. So that's how you find new investments. I do want to talk about ASTI as well. So I talked about GameStop. I think the squeeze is going to happen there. I have 1,100 shares of that. There's also something called ASTI. It's a photovoltaic company. They got signed up to do a test. So they don't have a contract with NASA, but they're doing a test with NASA along with a bunch of other commercial companies to basically test out their technology. They create super thin, basically solar panels, right? Which is important. Surface area, weight are two of the biggest components when you look at manufacturing vehicles, right? So another way to think about this is solar power is fine, right? If I have a solar panel out in the field, the weight and the size of that doesn't really matter because my source of electricity collection or energy collection is separate from its use. If you're looking at things like devices deployed in space or cars, if I put a solar panel on my car and I increase the weight of my car, every pound that I increase on my car increases drag. It increases maybe the amount of power that I have to put in my motor, which means that my motor gets heavier, right? Basically, weight is bad when you're trying to move things or you have devices that are mobile. And so lighter is better. Imagine if your solar panel now is also part of the rigid body of this thing, which doesn't necessarily apply to ASTI, but now you don't have a device that's separate from the actual body of the vehicle or the thing, but the actual thing is the solar panel itself. So these are all things that matter, and talk about solar panel adoption and the future of cars. If we're gonna have cars with solar panels on them that are actually useful, they can't be heavy, and the energy collection actually needs to be to an amount where it generates enough electricity to actually be useful over time. There's no point if I have to park my car for 8 hours in order for it to charge so I can drive for 30 minutes, right? Anyways, that was a little tangent. Check out ASTI. It's a long bet, not financial advice. It's something, I've got like 100,000 shares of it. It's literally 3 cents a share right now. The financials are terrible, they're trash, but kind of the way that I think about this again, looking at my thesis, is that they were selected by some really smart people over at NASA. The people at NASA are not dumb. They would not pick a company, even though the financials are bad. I'm sure the engineers who are working there are smart. And there are many companies who have gone through iterations of failure. And if they can prove their technology and they can secure a contract, get funding, their valuation will skyrocket. It could go to zero. All of that could not happen. But these are the way that these things work in this space. Do not do this unless you have capital that you're willing to give up. So that is it for this video, kind of just a random off the cuff video. Figured I'd test this out as I'm growing my YouTube channel. Funny enough, just talking about YouTube, that Dogecoin video did very well, but I don't necessarily want to just be in crypto or Doge. Kind of the point of this channel was as a personal vlog, and also to talk about the things that I actually think about in investing and find people who like that content. So I'm gonna try and not just make a bunch of meme content. I will sometimes for sure, because I actually do like Dogecoin and cryptos and all these things, but it's not really why I created this channel. So I do want to stay core to myself and kind of sharing, you know, my vision and things that I like to share on here. If you like those things, please hit the like button, slam it, obliterate it, share this video with 2 of your friends. Yourself and those 2 friends should subscribe to my channel so you can come back every time I post some video nonsense, whatever you want to call this. But with that, peace and see you in the next one.